there, space fans! Welcome to another exciting episode of Kast, where we talk about things we hate and things we don't hate as much. And now for our host, Connor Sinclair!
Alright, enough of that. Okay, it's September 21st, 3050. We're in the ending of Wave 4 of the Clan Invasion. Yet we still haven't seen shit of them.
Your manium.
Yeah. Today's topics. September patches. We got a few of them. We've been away for a little while.
Wonder why.
What about a roll call?
Oh, yes, a roll call couldn't hurt.
Oh, fuck that.
Hell no.
It's the same people every time, come on now.
Alright.
Yeah, who gives a
Do
shit?
your roll call.
We have some new people here.
Okay.
I'm the
Everybody
most
cares
important
about them
one.
anyway.
We have Laser.
Saludos de Mexico.
Kalis.
This is Kalis.
Visaggio Rain.
Hey.
The infamous Alex Wolfe.
Hello, pleased to be here.
Angry Ironworker.
How's it going, guys?
Attack Wallaby.
He's muted.
He's
Who's
dead.
apparently dead now.
Dead.
He died.
Completely dead. That's over.
Bujum.
Hello.
Darjeeling.
Get wrecked.
Our gunsmith Franchi.
I'm too drunk to care at this point.
Jude.
I wish I was tall and blonde.
Ralphs.
Heyo.
Molasses
Who is
Bats.
cooking? No cooking during Concast.
Valkyrie.
Salutations from San Antonio.
Okay, let's get this show on the road. So we have the September patches here recently. We finally had our UAC 5 nerf, as well as the Gauss and PPC nerf.
Yes. Short order.
The PPC nerf, I thought, was finally in line. It's so hot, though. So goddamn hot. Kalis.
Yeah.
Well, if you use more than 2 regular PPCs, you're pretty much worthless. You can't even use ER PPCs. They're not viable. They just take too much heat.
They're just a waste now. They're down there with small lasers on par for useful. Don't take
Mouse.
If I remember this right, they reverted the PPCs back to the closed beta heat. So
Remember
that's basically
right.
what they were supposed to be.
We've spun the wheel.
Yep. Spun
Full
the wheel
circle.
completely.
Darjeeling.
Yeah, if anyone's still playing an awesome, well, sucks to be you.
Ouch.
Burned.
People own Awesome still.
I know, right? What fools.
I own one. It's collecting dust. That's about it.
Well, it's like we kept giving them ideas, and they said that they were going to have quirks to fix this, and then they sort of just didn't do it. Or they, completely forgot. Like, hey, we're going to have a quirk system,
Connor,
and we're going to have BRPPCs work on the awesome, and...
I think you misunderstand. It's not that they forgot, or that they couldn't do it. It is that this was their position at the time.
position,
that awesome
yeah.
should have
Yeah.
some quirks.
It changed, yeah.
Yes,
Probably just
it has
forgot their
changed.
position, that's all.
No, they
Yeah.
added their quirk system. The quirk system has to do with their position. It changes.
Oh.
Ooh,
Oh,
okay, yeah, that's
yeah.
right. Didn't we get an Ask a Dev about that? Tell
Yes.
us about how they're going to constantly change their positions and not tell us.
Yes. This is also very true.
Great. Okay, so let's move on to Gauss then. The Gauss firing delay. It sucks. The worst fucking thing I have ever seen in my goddamn life. Vass.
Don't you like having a sniper breath mechanic in your giant robot game? Because I sure as fuck love it. It's so great.
The worst
Oh
part
wait,
is
I took them off my mechs.
the worst part is I
Sucks.
own a Gauss Appalt, and I was trying to do it in stagger fire, and it didn't work. I had to take it off. I had to take it
Yeah.
off chain fire so I could fire them both, but the reason why I took it off is because Gauss still has the detection issue. So now, not only do you have a really weird mechanic, it goes slower, it explodes, but it also doesn't hit all the time. Yeah, that's not really a good gun.
Honor, they
That's
upped
a hit
the
rate
life
issue.
to 5.
Oh my god, 5
Yeah,
whole points!
you can tank through more than a single small laser now. Isn't that great?
No.
I
Darjeeling?
agree.
What I fail to see is how removing what viable options we have will somehow lead to more variety and diversity in the fucking loadouts. Like, I just don't get it. But maybe it's because I'm not a game designer.
Ryan tried to sell me that shit, and I just wouldn't accept it. Kalis?
Well, as far as the Gauss nerf goes, I did use it for a short while. I don't hate it. What I do hate is the fact that they only brought the health up to 5 points. I mean, that's worthless. They should have brought it at least up to 10. I mean, it still makes it pretty fucking worthless now. Now it's just not even useful unless you're just trying to snipe.
Yeah, well, all that Paul wanted was for people to use the generalist shit mechs again, I think. And now he's kinda got his wish. Oh wait, he didn't. Because when they nerfed the PPC and the Goose as a 1-2 punch, well, everybody went to the last remaining viable ballistic, which was the UAC. Then they nerfed that too, and now AC5 is the king, and everybody is... Yeah.
Well, the pendulum of balance has swung again, and weapons that were clearly too good, Gauss and PPC were the meta game before, they are now so bad that everyone just left them overnight. And the worst thing is that newbies in the trial mechs have to deal with Gauss. And I think the Atlas has like 4 or 5 weapon groups, including the Gauss. I pity them.
Interrupting someone, I apologize in advance. Since I'm on my phone recording this, for the TeamSpeak app on iPhone, I can't actually X up to do my thing in line. But I was going to say that I think we're about overdue for a missile apocalypse at this point. With the way
No, don't say it. Don't jinx it.
LRM apocalypse. No.
Don't say it. Val, please don't. You've jinxed us.
What
Now
are you trying to make a joke or something? Don't jinx us.
It's gonna be due. I don't want it.
He made a joke.
What is
that? Will happen.
Too late now.
I didn't make a joke. I made an observation.
Game over.
Look on the bright side. After the LRM apocalypse, we'll go back to brawling.
Maybe. It'll be streaks again or something stupid.
Did they reduce the amount of damage Gauss explodes for, or is it still going to take out my Cicada's side torso instantly?
Same damage.
Same damage. And it only has 2 more points of health. 2 more. That was a bad idea.
5 instead of 3.
I'll pass.
Yeah. I know, right?
Call me when I can reinstall this.
What gets me about this whole thing, and just makes me roll my eyes, is they decided to do this at the worst possible time. They just released Advanced Zoom proper. It actually freaking works. Bass.
What gets me is that I can't snapshot at all with the Goose now, so it's completely useless for me. I will never use one with these mechanics. I mean, I don't think a lot of others do either, because when I play, I used to see all the UACs, obviously, and now it's 5s and AC20s. No Goose, no nothing.
Kalis?
As far as the balancing goes, they nerfed it just in the right time. One thing you'll notice if you follow the trend is they nerf their metagame, and they build their metagame around the hero mechs that are coming out.
Oh, you noticed that too, did you?
Yeah, it's surprising. I mean, when PPCs and stuff were top, the Dragon Slayer came out and the Victor was reigning supreme, and then the Orion just came out and surprise, surprise, the PPC is gone, the Gauss is gone.
But UAC5 with its dual ballistic, shoulder.
Yeah, funny how that works out, huh?
But they had to fix that because fucking triple UAC was killing them.
Yeah.
Well, remember when the heavy metal first came out? That pop-tarting was right. They basically buffed it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Then they removed
right
pop-tarting
around the hero mechs.
And then we got some minor pop-tarting back with the Victor hero.
And then they nerfed all the movement on every assault.
Yes.
And every mech. So the Victor's the only one that can freely move around.
They nerfed their game around their hero mechs. So just look at the hero mechs coming out, and then you can plan your metagame for that month.
It's all about the grab deals.
Didn't they have a hero that had SRMs in it?
But I want to
Rams in 2013.
step back on
Yeah, you
again
had
for a moment
the
here.
shitty Golden Boy. That's about the same time they buffed SRMs back, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yep.
And streaks.
It was.
They brought
Interesting to point that
3.5.
out, huh?
Yeah.
Funny how that works.
Yeah, they did. But
Too bad the Golden Boy was born with deformities and could never compete.
yeah, they couldn't
He was
plan
built
on their
differently.
bad design. They really couldn't plan on that. Going back to Pip here for a second,
Oh yes, let's do this.
It's funny how for the longest time they said it was impossible, and then
Rooted CryEngine errors.
I know, and we had a word with a dev, and he's telling us, oh, well, it isn't so much as they thought it was impossible because of the wording. And I'm like, okay, well, that's fine and everything, but you don't say it's impossible. You know, you say you're working on it, because if you say it's impossible, it basically means it's never coming.
You can't do it. It's impossible.
Yeah, that you can't do that.
You lack the talent or something.
Even worse, shouldn't you, allow your engineers to be the ones to explain it and not you? That's not really your job. You don't know how it works. So why would you talk to the community about something that you don't know anything about? And I got in an argument with the dev. Finally got to the point where basically I had to call him and I'm like, no. Well, it's not really Pip. And I'm like, well, the desire is that it is Pip. Look, regardless, it basically is
as long
Pip.
as it looks like it.
It does the job of Pip. But yeah, Pip's back, I guess, or it's in now finally, and all they had to do was basically work around with the code instead of going forward. Bass?
Yeah, I want people to know that right as we were going into open beta, that was a long-ass fucking time ago, one of the first things that they said they were going to fix, one of the most hard-at-work features, was the then 8-bit piece of shit zoo module. The first and only module we had at the time, mind you. It's taken them this long to fix it. But now it's fixed. Works. Might not be the best module in the game, but it works. My ear.
Mouths?
I'm just curious, because I never got an answer about this in that thread. But the notes say that they reduced the field of view to make picture-in-picture work.
Yes.
So does that mean that our field of view is even worse than it normally is?
No. What it is the way the CryEngine works is this. As you're seeing everything on the screen, everything is being rendered and corrected on the fly. Now this is amazing, and it means that there are less errors and problems in the rendering process. However, it means whenever they did Pip, it would render the game twice, meaning it would be like running 2 instances of the game. That's where the stress hit you. Laser?
Just so you know, they can't do a picture-in-picture that is a true one because you will have to render it twice, and thus cutting your performance in half. So what they did was that they used to use a really heavy digital zoom on it, but they actually tighten the field of view, and then they show you this other existing render that's happening at the same time that the main rest of the screen is. But the pip is actually a tighter field of view that they zoom in on.
Oh, that makes sense then.
In layman's terms, what they did is they made the second rendering a smaller window at a smaller resolution, which is fine because it's native to that resolution.
We got it.
You can explain that
like
even easier.
They advertised it. We don't need to explain the tech behind it.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. It's smoke and mirrors and workarounds.
Yep.
And
that's
all they had to do.
That's all it's ever been.
That's all it ever is. The fact that they were like, we can't do this, it's too hard. I'm like, really? Why are you even in this? Why are you even in this business if you can't do this?
You never made a video game, you don't know.
You never made a video game, you don't know shit.
You don't know
tic-tac-toe.
Let's move on!
Well, point remains that it's nice.
Let's move on.
Alright, let's move on to the Orion. So we talked about how the fact that it has dual UAC5, that was its real advantage and selling point over other mechs. It's also got another problem. I guess it's got like this huge back. It's got like fat back, so you can always hit it in the rear CT.
Yes, this is true. Shooting it from the back, you're guaranteed to hit the back CT pretty much. So, solution! Don't let people get in behind you. It's very twisty, so it shouldn't be that big of a problem.
Mouths?
As somebody who fought a lot of these things, they're really mediocre and they don't do anything interesting or new at all. Just like a lot of the recent mechs they've been tossing out.
To me, they feel like dragons with a little bit more weapons and armor. Kalis?
Well, lore-wise, it was just Babby's first Atlas. That's all it was. It was a smaller version of an Atlas. So it was never meant to be like a super heavy hitter in the first place.
Yes, but it doesn't even have the armor or anything that makes an Atlas. It just dies like any other heavy does.
The problem... I think it has good armor for its size.
It's a 75 tonner.
I suppose,
but properly sized.
The problem is this. Okay, it's got the boosted tonnage and everything, but without specific weapon hardpoints, you can't really boat in it, so it becomes mediocre compared to everything else. If you want to boat missiles, you can do a catapult. If you want to boat ballistics, you choose like a Jaeger or an Elmo. If you want to boat lasers, but you can't really do that. You can't do that in the Orion. Laser?
What I've noticed is that the default build and default hardpoints are nearly identical to what an Atlas, the D or the DDC will be built out as. And then on top of that, you have the missile fist one, so the V and the VA. On the VA, I've seen Alex over here using an LRM-15 and LRM-10 fist. So you can... It's essentially a heavier catapult that can't jump. And you can lob LRM... what is it? Jesus. There are 50 LRM-50s with it.
Okay, Franchi?
So long as SRMs are in the trash can, the Orion will remain in the trash can.
I agree.
Alex?
Well, I must say the Orion is kind of like the Blackjack some time ago. It's nothing that special, but it's fun. It's so much fun that it's almost content. I think it's very fun to drive. It looks totally ugly, which makes it awesome. And it's comfortable to drive. It's like an Atlas with its hardpoints, but the sides, besides the shoulder, is really tiny, so you don't take much accidental fire on the side torsos. Excel Engine is quite safe for its size. It's decent. I would say
it's okay. It's okay. It's an okay mech.
I just figured it would have been booking it a little bit quicker than it ended up being. I don't know. I can't do it. And I love the Orion too. It's one of my favorite mechs. I mean, it's like
It's
the
a
first
heavy. You're never gonna play it.
It's the first one you get in MechWarrior 3, though, and it's like just below an assault, so it feels so good, but not here for me.
It's not. You are an assault man. I'm on everything.
I know. All right. So I guess
I'll rate it 6 out of 10.
We're moving on to flamers now. So I haven't tested flamers, but from what I've seen, they're kind of useless, and there aren't enough people carrying them, so that's kind of a story to me. Or should we go to UAC 5 again? Because I thought we already talked about it, kind of.
We already did.
Well, maybe not.
We can cover them in detail.
We'll get them next. Let's stick to flamers, and then we're moving on to UAC 5. Okay, Angry Ironworker?
Yeah, so I have a flamer on a couple of my hunchbacks, and before, they're just kind of as a joke. Just, I'm shooting flames out of my head. Now, after they've been, this last patch, they actually feel kind of viable.
Kalis?
Is that minimally viable? No, but actually, I did have a comment. I wanted to point out that our own Vesago Rain, he got a headshot with the flamer to an Atlas. He won the game.
Is it hot in here or just me?
Oh man! Basically, we were fucking ghetto stomping for some reason, and I had flamers on my DDC. I wanted to see if they did anything. Then first. Super lucky event. I hit an enemy Atlas in the face with my AC-20, so he had no armor. Then I aimed my flamers at his face, and he exploded, because he had ammo in there. So it happened. But yeah, first headshot ever. I won the game. No contest. It's over. It's over.
Oh god.
Did I talk about my flamer experiences in general now, too?
So, has anyone done any test lab stuff with a flamer yet?
Yes.
What did we get on that? Did we get a rate, at least? On the heat to enemy heat?
They're fucking shit. They heat enemies up now. Like, instead of you taking 10% and nothing happening to the enemy, they will go to maybe 10% and you go to 1. They still do very little damage. They sneak raise the range. I think they have about 90 meters range now. The animation doesn't always represent. But in general, flamers are they're just for shits and giggles. Hobbyists get super scared of them now. I get it. You have flamers, shoot them into the air.
I heard someone say that the damage on them is either 1 or 0.7 a second now, so really terrible, but it's there.
Right, it's actually receiving damage when you're pointing it at somebody.
Yeah, they have a function now. They don't hurt you. Took them my ear.
Okay, so I guess we're going back to UAC 5s. UAC 5s have been nerfed into the ground. Yeah. To be honest, the problem with them wasn't that they were overpowered. It was more the fact that the jam rate should have been something other than what they were at. Weren't they like at 15?
15%.
Yeah. Laser?
I know Tabrius has mentioned a couple of times the progressive randomer generator that he's seen in Dota, and I know I've talked to Phil a couple of times of for rotary autocannons that the longer you hold them down, it overheats. That's what I've talked to Phil a couple of times about. But Tabrius
We
said
all
that,
have.
yeah. Tabrius said that in Dota, if you repeatedly use an ability, there's a greater chance every time you use it, there's a greater chance that it'll fail, or something along the lines of. He called it PNR, Progressive Random Number Generator. And in the spirit of the overheat bar, they could use something where if it's an AC5, it'll do the same thing as an AC5, but if you want to double tap, it doesn't weird out, and you can't macro it like you used to since it's no longer 1.15 seconds, but you can double tap it with slightly less fear for the first couple of shots, but then the percentage chance to jam just increases ridiculously the more you double shot it.
Another thing, I believe that was in MechWarrior Living Legends, and wasn't it in 4? I swear it was in 4. That they had something quite like that. Vass?
Yeah, about the whole UAC and the macros and tap dancing your keyboard and all the stupid ass shit. They should really have just gone with a separate bar for it. Bar is full, you can't shoot it at all anymore until it's down. But
Yeah.
PGI...
They made macros bannable, and that's kind of funny. But that's another thing. How can you really tell? And you'd have to kind of report it.
You can't tell. I mean, fuck. Everybody has macros these days. Everybody who's playing or listening to this has, even if you don't know it, a keyboard or a mouse you can macro and program.
So,
hard.
beside the jam rate, they also increased or decreased the rate of fire. It's basically worse than an AC5.
No, it's
You've got
the
less
same.
DPS.
Both
well,
guns
it's the
fire
same
at
if you've got
1.5 cooldown. But the UAC has more weight, and more crits, it's less bullets per ton, and that double tap quotation marks, it still has the jam, and 20% jam is quite high, especially when you don't have the fast rate of fire you used to. So what people do is they take the normal AC5, they don't give a fuck about jamming, they don't give a fuck about double shots. Then you see them blinking from 600. Good game design.
That, and you can pretty much buy any Cataphractor Jaeger and install the 4 AC5s and not have to worry about it ever again.
Pretty much. I mean, AC5s and UAC5s were never bad. They were never king of anything, but right now, with everything that's supposed to be good being shit, well,
all the numbers are relative.
This is
when
what
they
you
nerfed most of the heavier weapons, well, of course the mid-range weapons are going to be high as hell.
People are going to have some ballistic, and if they can't take UACs, they take AC5s, and when they nerf AC5s, they're going to go to AC2s,
or AC10,
so forth.
Or
it's
whatever it ends up niching to.
Fucking useless effort.
Balancing by feel, that should be assigned to you.
Yeah, balancing by feel. Laser Angel?
Oh, yeah, just going in that line of thought, I noticed that when they put the Gauss charge on, you immediately see these like ridiculous builds with AC-10s, and LRM-5s, and large lasers.
Yes. Because no one wants to deal with that. No one wants to deal with that.
Bad at building.
It's not that it's difficult to circumvent. It is entirely that it's just a stupid mechanic that I don't want to deal with.
Yes.
Same. It gets in the way of the gameplay. It's unintuitive. It's dumb. Moving on, they added the movement tutorial, which I look at and I go, well, wow, time well spent.
I will say that the movement tutorial, I booted it up right after the patch came out that included the movement tutorial, and I tried it out. And the first thing that I noticed is texture errors all over the goddamn place on that map. And I'm like, wow, that's really going to look good to your new players there, BGI. Let's learn how to play the game and see how shit it's going to look all the damn time.
Alex?
Well, the first thing to notice about the tutorial is that the game menu says tutorials, as in plural.
Anyway, the main thing you need to know about the tutorial is that it's disgustingly bare bones and it teaches you nothing important.
Okay. Laser?
Oh, I think what Alex was trying to get out there was that there was, when you click on the tutorials drop down, it says tutorials in the plural.
Yeah.
Right, meaning we've got more coming.
We have the movement or the fire one coming up, post launch at some point. It's coming, I promise.
Soon. In 60 days from now.
It's
My
going to
word.
have
60 to 90 days. That's the
60 to 90 days.
They always add that. 60 to 90
Always
days,
to
it'll
60 to
happen.
90 days. I promise.
Got a question. Is the acting in these
Alex is
tutorials going to
back.
be as bad as when they released the
There's no
frickin'
acting.
Kentaro?
It's just tact.
I thought
All right.
Phil and Bombadil were voice acting for it, though.
I pray to God they aren't.
Step 2, Darjeeling.
I mean, we should give them props for trying to attempt to put in tutorials to try and improve the new user experience as something that we've been criticizing for a long time.
For a year and a half.
Yeah.
Here's the opposite
I mean,
end of
I
that,
mean,
though.
trying
Is that
out, right?
right? But here's the opposite end of that, though. Is that they introduced this tutorial. So what's the fucking point of third person then? Or are they just changing their position again at this time? And so third person was originally so new players could orient themselves. Well, you have a tutorial now that teaches people how to orient themselves. You can take out the third person now and stop being dicks. But that's not.
Unfortunately, I think you know as well as I do that third person is here to stay.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
The problem.
And you know what? Here's something else I wanted to say while it's on my mind. This shit pissed me off so much, but. When the patch came out this past Tuesday, the launch patch, and Matt Newman says, you get 12v12 first person only, you lucky MechWarriors, or something to that extent. That infuriated me. The sheer amount of the audacity that man must have to say, you are lucky we're giving you first person only views in your 12v12 competitive queue that nobody fucking plays. Be glad you get that, peasant.
Don't be so
That was
entitled.
fucking insulting.
Yeah, check your fucking privilege there, Val.
Yeah, he is the position at the time guy after all. You must
He
remember
really
this,
is.
Val.
He's like their PR gold guy.
He could have made it third person only.
Yeah, he could have.
He
You're
could
lucky.
have. We should be very, very lucky here.
Hey,
Not
you know,
before.
oh,
I've
did you
been
just
lucky.
make a joke? Because that's not allowed.
Oh man, look what you've done.
Oh,
Look what you've done. I'm sorry,
Oh
MechWarriors.
shit, we're breaking rules.
We did it again.
It's over.
Oops.
Yeah.
So, like, what
back to the
crime is
tutorial.
that? Is that a charge
I would like
with?
to hear Alex.
It's happening.
Alright, Alex, finish the tutorial.
Is that MechWarrior treason?
Yeah, I really think they should have just copy-pasted the MechWarrior 4 tutorial where
Oh, you
they
face the little
told
pillar?
you to look at something, then make a circle around it. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, and they could have just added on to
that
that.
would be really useful.
And they could have used, in particular, they could have used the Vengeance version where, like, you do the tutorial and it's like, oh, look, that guy's stealing a mech, go kill him.
Yeah, precisely. Why not?
Hey, let's...
Don't fix what's not broke.
Well, it is laudable that they actually did put a tutorial, you know, since from day one we told them they needed one. They did such a poor showing and effort. I mean, it's really, really bad. It's slow, it's reading text on the screen, and it's minimally viable effort is what it is. It's just, they should have tried a little harder.
Alright, I think we need to move on. We're running out of time here. We're moving on to MechWarrior Online Launch. Launch is a line in the sand. The day after launch is no different than the day before.
I'd like to step in here again and state that the line in the sand phrase is, again, used completely incorrectly. Line in the sand should mean that you cross that and bad shit is going to happen. It doesn't mean, oh, it's just another day. At this point, I'm starting to be convinced that the management team over there needs to seriously, like, I don't know, read a fucking book or something so they can understand how these phrases are used.
Or they meant it to be
Val,
that way.
they're
you're
just
not reading
being
this deep
honest
enough.
now.
They mean exactly what they say.
Yeah, you got it dead on.
The same
That
with the
shit did
canary
happen.
in the fucking coal mine. If you think about it, they know exactly what they're saying. We have crossed this fucking line, and now it's just
The point of no return.
Yeah.
pretty much.
Third person only from here on out, you fuckers.
This is as good as it gets.
Xbox One
They're
release next.
basically, they're basically saying, this is where we're going, and we're not going anywhere else. Try us, is basically what they're saying.
Bring it on, motherfuckers. Bring it on.
Basically, that is like one of the most insulting things you could say to like the developers who work their ass off for this game, because you know there's people in their work that dedicate their whole life to making this game the best they can.
Yes.
And saying something like that and being your release means nothing. I mean, we
no
all
big
knew
deal.
it was nothing. The game released in open beta. We all knew that. Everybody knew that. But that's really sad. and I'd be pissed off if I worked for them and I got told, oh, what you've done means nothing.
Okay, Alex?
No matter how much you try to downplay the launch or the open beta launch like they did, it means coming out to the public with your product and presenting it. You are open to scrutiny then, and even to reviews in this case. This is terrible that this happened.
The beta shield is gone, gentlemen.
Visagio?
No more beta shield. Yeah, no more beta shield. And
But it just launched.
Yeah,
they
still have their ammunition.
Give them a month. Give them a year. Gotta be patient.
2 years, honestly.
Something I
Be
wanted to say too.
patient.
It's just I have a theory as to why they launched the way that they did. It is insulting to the developers, but at this point, I actually don't think that launching right now was PGI's decision. I honestly think that if you look at the calendar, you'll realize that this past Tuesday was the last Tuesday of the summer. So what probably happened is they inked an agreement with IGP saying that this game will be released in summer 13. That was their last possible window of opportunity, and knowing how slow PGI works thanks to their design by committee system, they were of course going to drag it out as long as humanly possible. And when they didn't have shit, admitted they didn't have shit, and so they still launched anyway so they could fulfill a contractual agreement, and that's all it really is to them.
Well, there's also the fact that we've got prime time. It's prime time now for video games. The
Holiday
holidays
season's coming up.
Yep. Purchasing for kids and everything.
If you wanted to launch in primetime, you'd launch in a week that doesn't coincide with the launch of Grand Theft Auto 5.
But that's the beauty
We'll
of it.
see that
You
if
don't
they
get
could-
noticed.
They could slide under the radar and nobody will
Yeah.
know.
Because you notice,
Honestly speaking, does their Metacritic even have a single professional?
That was my
seriously
next
still
point.
none.
But you forgot.
There's
Nobody
no
cares
professional
for it.
review up.
It's so mediocre, there's no reason to review it.
I mean,
Yeah.
again, who actually goes to Metacritic to check for a free-to-play game score?
Okay. Darjeeling?
Alright, well, as far as the Metacritic thing goes, now that the game, for those of you who don't know, is actually launched, the Metacritic has opened and you could submit reviews about the game. And so, a lot of us have taken to the Metacritic site to post our reviews on this game, MechWarrior Online. Now, what I want to stress, what often tends to be forgotten, because we are very passionate individuals, and sometimes we can be very angry individuals, is that we all wanted, in our heart of hearts, for this game to succeed. We don't want it to fail. We don't particularly take that much delight in pointing out all the mistakes and flaws, even though it might seem like we did. So, for instance, I made a Metacritic account to review this game to give an actual honest score what I felt. And I've never gone to Metacritic before or made an account before. But see, the problem is that there are both sides. There are sides, there's like the PGI side where people are making accounts just to give this game a really high score and inflate it. And then there are people who people think are bombing it, just giving it a really low score because they feel they've been mistreated by the developers or whatnot. But I'd like to say that just personally, I gave it the score that I felt it deserved, which was a rather low score. And that by giving it a perfect score to offset what you see as trolls, that just tells them that it's okay to continue what they're doing, that you'll continue to support them no matter what. And I don't think it's entitlement to want a better game, to want more for this beloved franchise. I don't know. Maybe that's just me.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the Mass Effect 3 thing all over again, where everyone who was shitting all over Mass Effect 3, including myself, we were all Mass Effect fans, and that was why we were pissed. The whole reason we were pissed wasn't because it was a shitty game and it was the fun thing to do. We were pissed off because it was a complete letdown. I mean, I worked for EA right up until about 3 weeks before Mass Effect 3 launched. Everybody that I worked with knew how incredibly excited I was for that game. And then it launched, and when I finished it, I was not happy in the slightest. And I complained about it on my Facebook page, talking about how, oh yeah, this is a really bad, fucking ending by any stretch of the imagination. And I caught so much flack from my coworkers or my ex-coworkers at the time about that. But at the same time, they were all telling me, oh, you're just a troll, you're just a troll. No. When you're really that passionate about a game and you have that many bad things to say about it, if you're educated, it shows that you know what you're talking about and that you're trashing the game because there's something wrong with it, not because you take any particular joy in doing so.
It's called criticism.
Deal with it.
I mean, to be fair, there is a group of people giving it zeros simply to negate the people giving it tens.
Yeah, that's right.
And
what I'm
that's
trying
like
to say is
that's
not
the reason why.
everybody
Yeah,
who gave it a bad score is just trying to do it for the fun.
Yeah, some people actually are giving an honest review.
that's like honestly,
Malfs-
like the Metacritic user review is never really a good sign to read, especially for like mainstream games.
I'll
Gonna
just
let
say
Malfs
this:
go
the
ahead
people who
for a
gave it
moment.
10s are probably not being very honest.
The thing about the Metacritic is that the whole entire thing is just two sides of the same coin.
Right. I'm going to go ahead and read my review for it. It's kind of a basic review, but I felt it covered most of the glaring issues as well as the things. MechWarrior Online can only be described as snatching the failure out of the jaws of success. A mediocre game with lackluster content, random bugs, and a balancing act that would terrify a gymnast. The game is patched together with DirectX 9 fixes while awaiting a DirectX 11 release, meaning MWO is a powder keg just waiting for a spark. The UI is shoddy. It's a shoddy mess from its alpha, with little modification since then outside of a single sound notification. Many of the maps have assets simply floating in the air or clipping through one another, and some still suffer texture errors. The game defaults a control system more complex than previous iterations of the game, and often punishes a new player. The game's ranking system is invisible, preventing a player to see their standing. Even worse, it appears to not affect the game drops at all. New players are pitted against the best players with the best equipment and their teams. The weapons range from either being useless or being glass cannons, completely destroying any competition. The developers themselves show a lack of empathy for their players, and will often lay blame on them for their mistakes. The hit registration is the closest thing to fantasy magic that you will ever come to see in the real world. It either works or it doesn't. Oftentimes, firing a weapon at an enemy will result in no damage, throwing your ammo completely away. Enjoy a night of confusion and frustration with MechWarrior Online.
Did you practice reading that?
No.
Oh, he's just reading it from the f***ing notepad. But yeah, I agree with that. That's about all my views on this game. We've all been here long enough. It's a clear 5 out of 10 game.
Well, Connor, you're just being entitled. In Battletech Tabletop, when you throw the dice, it doesn't mean you're going to hit.
Yeah, it should be more like Battletech.
You should have to literally roll dice in your cockpit.
It is like Battletech.
Yeah.
We do have RNGs.
Yeah, we
You're
do
never
have
gonna
RNGs,
hit that
but
fucking Jenner. You're never ever gonna hit that Jenner.
The SRMs
Because
are the
even if
dice
you hit a
rolling.
guy, it doesn't mean you hit a guy.
I'm trying to find a review on here that was 8 out of 10, and it was one sentence.
They're all the same.
To me, it was the worst. I wasn't getting.
I know
the
I'm
name.
already
I was
getting
just gonna
edited out,
read
but
it.
at least now we know. Battletech pilots, it's not that their aim is shit, it's that there's fucking space-time anomalies everywhere.
Just fucking mini black holes open up and fucking warp perception for a few
The
seconds.
RNG is supposed to represent the chance that comes from an individual pilot and how well they can fight. So basically, the RNG represents the player, but you're supposed to represent the RNG, meaning that if you're shit and you can't hit the side of a mech, that means you need to get better dice rolls, asshole.
Oh, man.
Was that somebody wrote?
No, that's something I wrote like a long time ago. And people were like, but you can freely aim at a mech, and I go, yeah, and that's because you're the pilot. The dice isn't the pilot anymore. You are. Just get better dice rolls.
Connor, the game is just compensating for the fact that when you play a shooter, you're effectively a 0-0 pilot.
Oh, God.
Fuck it! No more talking about it
God.
detection. Let's move on.
Alright, so...
The new player experience.
Oh, boy.
Call Malfs.
Alright, Malfs.
The PPC made a tutorial for movement, and that does help enhance the new player experience. The main problem is that, aside from the mech, aside from equipment and all that, the game doesn't teach you how to fight. You don't know how to play. You just know how to walk around like a headless chicken.
Is that all we got?
Well, it's coming in 60 to 90 days, the firing tutorial. Just be patient.
Okay, Laser?
Well, at least this time around, all the trial mechs are champion mechs, so they have Endosteel, XL engines, and double heat sinks.
Yeah, you noticed
why
that
they
right
did
at
that,
launch?
right? You know why they did that? Wanna know why they did that? Because they want reviewers and new players not to suffer in shitty stock mechs with 10 single heat sinks.
But you'd think they would have joined during the open beta anyway. I mean, it was right there. You could grab it whenever you want. Unless they're really holding
That
out
was
for
the thing about
basic
MechWarrior.
launch.
It's free, so if you want to try it out, you can.
Yeah, if you want to, you can. You come
Hey,
join
let's-
us.
But I want NPCs and Hunchback 4Ps that are stock. That would be awesome.
Oh God! Do you remember Vass
Those
when
beta, you mean?
a player said that basically we were the NPCs and that they were the actual, and they didn't really care.
The founders were.
I'm the
Yeah.
one who
The
said
founders
that.
were the
that
actual
thing that when I wrote that
MechWarriors.
giant rambling post about how awful World of Tanks new player experience was, that one thing that I mentioned was in particular that made me fucking hate World of Tanks. Yeah, let's put that in MechWarrior. Brilliant.
It's almost
Of
as
course.
bad as repair and rearm.
That's where their blueprint came from.
At the going rate, it takes a few weeks before you even see a new mech. Vass? Or,
Yeah,
no, Franchi.
about new player experience, it's pretty shit. Pretty fucking terribly the kind of level of shit. But, as we said, right now, every single stock mech is a custom hero. Well, not hero, they're champions. Which means they have dubs, they have endo, they have real weapons, they have ammo. So if you want to check the game out now, it's the absolute best time to do it. Because this isn't gonna last longer than...
Plus, if you do it now, that way you'll at least realize, no, it's probably not ever going to get better, and you won't waste any more of your time. It's really good.
Okay, Franchi?
Let's not forget when we talk about the new player experience, we were actually talking about the first 300 hours of play a player will put into this game. That is how long they will be stuck in these death trap mechs, or in the death trap mech they purchased but did not have the C-bills to upgrade, thanks
just
to a
didn't
economy
know.
nerf.
Or they just weren't told, because it's not like you can tell what mechs are meta or not. Alex?
Yeah, this is where people are likely to get discouraged, because after they get their cadet bonus, then they buy their first mech, and if they choose poorly, then they are stuck in this mech, trapped in it for however long it takes to get the next one. And setting up even a medium mech takes about 20 to 26 hours of average income, and you're not getting that money or time back because selling it will only get you a little bit.
Payless?
NP.
As far as
terrible.
what you said, Connor, you said there's nothing telling you the meta, but we already discussed it earlier. The hero mechs are the meta. Buy
I
a hero
know.
mech and you're good to go.
Yeah, but it's not like they would know. It's not like someone who's just fresh off the boat could understand that. Jude?
I'm pretty sure no matter how much they add to or improve the tutorial, the new player experience is going to be the same as it was back in closed beta. If you don't have a friend telling you how to play, you're fucked.
Pretty much. Alfs?
Kalos, even if you buy a hero mech, it doesn't matter if you're bad at the game. A better player is still going to tear you apart, which is why we need a combat tutorial. If you don't know how to fight, you're gonna die. Simple as that.
But fighting is super easy, remember? Just point and click, right? Right? Oh,
No,
wait.
you gotta learn lag shooting, remember?
Okay,
Yeah,
moving
this is
on.
a shooter, remember? It's not like it's a sim or anything.
For
Damn
now.
sim heads.
Fucking that's ruining it.
The simheads that are a incredibly small minority of the target audience. No, I'm sorry, they're not
Yeah,
even the target
not
audience,
a
but the
minority.
audience in
Who the fuck
general.
are sim heads?
Sim
Why
head.
would
What the fuck is
MechWarrior
that
want to
term?
attract sim heads?
It's a term Brian used back at
Brian invented
describing first person to third person when he was trying to discredit first person players,
It
saying
still
it's not a
doesn't-
big deal.
It doesn't make sense to me. It's like, seriously, is that supposed to be an insult or something?
Who knows? It's Brian.
The term simhead's been around for a long time. I mean,
Yeah, it's been
I hear people describe, used to describe those folks who build, the $1,600 F-16 cockpits in their house, that kind of thing. And then to me, it's kind of a term of endearment, but I don't think, Brian in his tenuous grasp on the English language probably misunderstood it.
Fucking nerds.
Fucking nerds.
Fucking nerds.
Okay, so we're moving on here. What the hell is this laser? Okay, I got this thing here. It says Alex Wolfe's Flying Circus. Okay.
It's his Tumblr page with all
For
the
some
art.
of you, right,
Alex,
for
talk
some
about
of
it.
you, for some of you who don't know who Alex is the one who's been making all those colorful MS Paint pictures, the ones you might have seen on Reddit or on MechWarrior Online or just in passing with a friend. He's responsible for all of it. So
Please
check
give
out
him
his
money.
Tumblr. Yes, pay
Donate.
attention to him. Donate. Do something. The guy's
Aw,
amazing.
Give him
you
money.
can't do that.
Also starving.
9,000 hours.
Don't whore him out.
Could somebody set up a thread for him? Seriously, someone
The
needs to
address
drop.
will be in the show notes. You're not going to miss it.
I know,
He
but
needs to
still,
buy a new box of crayons, so.
does
And food.
and food.
Alex, tell us a little bit about your page.
And your starvation.
Well, yes, it's a gallery that I've been wanting to make for quite a while because I kind of wanted to provide a commentary to my picture. Some people were curious and asking, "Hey, Alex, what is this thing in this picture? What is it about?" Because some of the references might be very obscure. So it's just a little bit of insight, so that if a comet crashes through my window tomorrow and kills me, some part of me
gonna
will
rule
still
it out.
live on the internet. Please
Wouldn't rule it
visit.
out, considering it seems to happen a lot over there in Eastern Europe.
And how many MechWarrior Online pictures have you made to date, Alex?
I think I've got about 90 MechWarrior Online pictures, including the little MS Paint shops. They are being put on the page in chronological order with the commentary.
And you should all go and look at it, because great, you have all the Alex pictures in one spot. You don't have to go look for
His pictures are awesome. They're
go
very
hunting for them
relevant.
anymore.
I'm probably
You can
going to
trace the
You are
metagame through
humbling
his
me, guys.
pictures.
Give him food.
That's not
please
terrible
give him
idea.
food. He lives in a cardboard box. He eats rats. Please.
You know, he walks by people pissing on the streets.
Yeah,
that
you
sort
can
of
click
thing.
the little commando donate link at the bottom to give him monies for pizza and to fix his broken hand.
It's on the left.
Please.
Artist draws
For
little
grab
robots.
deals a day,
Romanian print.
you can save this poor Transylvanian
Romanian
prince.
prince is not a real word.
Alex,
Yeah, so it's being put there in the chronological order. So in about 3 months, you could read pretty much the whole history of MechWarrior Online from closed beta until now and beyond in pictures.
I'm drooling. I'm actually going to have to take a look at that just to go back in time.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a time capsule.
Franchi?
I'd just like to point out that is the first page I visit every morning when I sit down at my computer, and I just, I wait for the next update.
Oh,
You're fans,
Thank you.
Alex.
We love Alex.
We do.
We all do.
He's our
funny.
prophet.
I
Okay.
think-
How many
much-
followers
I'm
do you have
wondering
by now?
exactly how much money Alex got the moment he put that donate page at the bottom, because we've been bugging him about that for months.
Never know.
You'll never know.
Ever.
Okay,
Yeah, move on.
so we're moving on to Hawken. They had an Ascension patch, and
Yes.
well, here at Kong, we've been trying to find things to play, and we love robots. I tried Hawken out. It's definitely different from what I saw originally way back when. Mouse?
The game's gotten easier, but there's a lot more actual options now. Technicians are still horribly annoying, though.
Yeah, I noticed that. It's kind of fun, though, because it kind of reminds me of Gundams, but at the same time, it's a little different. It's still Rudy Tooty fresh and shooty, but it's fun. It's fun. It's fun. It's fun. Angry Ironworker.
That's buzzwords.
Yeah, Hawken, it is definitely a completely different game. I liken it. It feels a lot like the new Armored Core, the Armored Core 5 that came out. It flies a lot like that. It's still a little too what I'm looking for.
To Twitch shooting?
Yeah, pretty much. It just feels like a Twitch shooter.
Okay, Mouse.
The second part of the Ascension patch is the community. There's a lot more people here, but they don't seem to understand how to play this game because I am still getting snipers that try to 1v1 me in close combat. I'm getting medics that try to fight a combat mech and die instantly. I've got berserkers that are running around on their own. Like, the community could use some work, honestly.
Welcome to every class-based shooter ever.
Welcome to Pubbies. Enjoy your stay. Alright, now moving on to something even greater, unless Kalis has got a few words.
Oh, I was going to talk a little bit about Hawken. I played it back in early closed beta, and it was pretty rough. It wasn't a team-based shooter. It was more about the individual mechs, and it was really... It had a tutorial, though, real early on, and it was useful.
Most games do.
Yeah, I know. Strange that.
Strange concept.
But since the Ascension patched, they even added a more advanced tutorial that's even better. Lots of it's
Which
good.
I approve.
It works
It's
really
a good
well.
tutorial.
The game starts you off. It's got a great new player experience. It gives you some money. It gives you some their what are they called? HC. Their
Yes.
money.
You the
credit.
best
You
method.
unlock
deal.
mechs as you play.
It even lets
Yes.
you
Out of
earn
nowhere.
mechs as you play, which is it's not a horrible game. I don't think it's a good game as far as I'm concerned, but
Same.
it's a good shooter. It's you can have a lot of fun with it. It's a good time waster. I'll give you that. And now it's a team-based shooter, more like a TF2 than anything else.
Mouths?
To anybody that was playing before closed beta, or Ascension rather, and they didn't like it, I'd say try Ascension out now, because it's quite a bit different. I started playing Hawken like just a few days before the Ascension patch, so I got a good taste of both sides of Hawken. I personally liked it more pre-Ascension, because it was a lot harder then. I couldn't just drop a repair kit to heal myself. That's just me.
Okay, Vass?
Yeah, something that no one's touched upon yet. They recently shrank the max party size to 3 players, so
Yeah,
I'm getting
no more
super
stomping.
rolled now. It's a bit easier if you have a few friends, or if you want to go solo now.
The devs listen to you now. They listen to you over here.
They
care.
don't really, but let's not go into much depth about.
Alright,
Vass's battered wife syndrome.
let's move on. Okay, so Star Citizen, the Hangar Module, and we've all played with it, and we've all enjoyed it. There's been a few updates on it.
I didn't.
We had a big update just like yesterday or so, even.
Yep, yesterday.
We got
And
buggies.
there was quite a few bugs. I covered some of them, but not all of them, because didn't want to spam the thread.
Kalis, you want to take us into this? Since
Yeah,
you've
yeah.
been on the ball more about this?
No problem. So the Hangar Module, just for people who don't know, if you pledge to Star Citizen, you get a ship. Usually, you probably want to pick one of the first 5 ships. The Constellation, the Hornet, the Aurora, the 300i, or the Freelancer. And if you have one of those ships, you will have a ship in the hangar. Now, it's not a game. You can wander around it, you can play with the holo table, and you can get inside your ship and sit in the seats. And there's not a lot to do right now, but it is the best not game ever because it gets constant updates. We see all sorts of things changing. They just recently patched it, as Mouse said, and we got an animation update. The animations look a lot better. You feel like you're actually on the ground, and they slowed down the guy. He doesn't run it like Mach 5 anymore. That's probably a good thing.
Something I want to point out. They gave us an animation update in like less than a month. Meanwhile, on MWO, the Atlas still does that crazy, like, it leans over and breaks its back thing. Vass?
Yeah, I have videos of that for those who are interested. But anyway, I have to go now. Still out on vacation too,
See you.
later.
Bye, Vass.
I hope my colleagues don't tear each other apart with my. Kidding, of course they won't.
Alright, and they apparently put the framework for the stunt buggies in because there's a buggy you can buy. They changed the price to $15. I believe everybody still has $12 worth of credit. So if you spend $3, you can buy the buggy, but I wouldn't buy it unless you had a larger hangar, because the larger hangars come with the more expensive ships. There is a video on YouTube that we have in the show notes. It's them jumping a buggy through a flaming hoop and hitting some, looks like oxygen canisters or something at the end.
Propane tank.
I will go out on a limb here and say that even if you haven't bought a nicer ship, it's probably going to be very tempting to not buy, for me at least, very tempting not to buy the business hangar because it's just so nice. And if I'm going to be spending a lot of time in that game, I might grab Deal.
I mean, it's definitely nicer than the deluxe hangar.
There's some charm, though, to the dirty, beat-up, old discount hangar with the non-working fan and the poor lighting.
Maybe if you like fucking shit filters.
Dude, no, I guess not so much the deluxe hangar anymore, but the deluxe hangar is just, like, sterile and boring, and it's awful.
Yeah, you guys have fun with your deluxe and business and dirt hangar. I'm going to be over here on my asteroid. Thanks.
Yeah, when you get it. Soon.
How's
How's
that trophy smell? Is that a good trophy?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, you didn't mention it earlier, but if you buy
Yes.
a Cutlass, you get a trophy.
Still
Yeah,
love
instead of it,
I love the
instead of
edit
it.
that somebody made like the day after the Hangar Module
Me.
came out, where the trophy on the side it says, "But it's a beta."
Yeah, I wrote that in there.
I mean, we're talking like the difference between Mos Eisley Spaceport and fucking Coruscant upper levels. It's all a matter of taste.
So when is the Terra landing zone coming out?
Fucking
Yeah,
never.
we have a video in the show notes that show the video of the Terra Prime wandering around, looking at the different shops, and it's
What
all.
if you'll get one that has rain in it, like the original one?
Hopefully.
Nah.
You're talking about the
Sorry,
previous,
for my
you're talking
ship.
about the
This is
previous,
important.
right?
Something about the Terra Prime landing video is it shows that they've got gun animations in the game, at least.
They
The
may be
character
using
when he
the
runs around.
canned Crytek engine
Yeah.
stuff.
Maybe.
So keep that in mind. They might be using their Behringer P4C or whatever, their gun, but I think they're just using the canned animation for now. But they have their own animation studio, so I'm sure they'll have those animations in when they need them.
The good thing is you're building it on CryEngine, which was originally designed for a shooter, so the FPS segments probably won't be really jerky and kind of unnatural feeling like I was concerned with. I just realized that it's being built on CryEngine, so it's probably got a lot of canned FPS stuff. That
Also, you did notice they did update the running animation. It's a lot better now.
Yeah.
All the animations look better. Did
Yeah,
you know
they're
that
all
when you
a lot
go
better.
into the bed of the Aurora,
Yeah,
your
there's
face
no
doesn't clip
clipping at
into
all.
the pillow? Yeah,
And those are
just down
those are just going to get better and better as they
I would say,
nail them
like,
down.
having like an NPC move in a very small space and not clip is a pretty interesting feat.
I mean,
Got
it has
to
been
admit,
literally
it's getting
3
better,
weeks since the Hangar
Getting
Module
better
dropped.
all the time.
Just think about that for a minute. 3 weeks, and we've come this far. As one thing I wanted to point out, the nice thing about Star Citizen is it's a first-person game, but it's all about the vehicles. You're in the vehicle, but you're still in a first-person view. Unlike MWO, where you are the mech, that's one of the things that adds to the immersion. You're going to be able to put stuff on the cockpit and stuff like that. So moving on, module development, the timeline. We have a little bit of information about when things are going to happen. The soonest we're going to have anything playable is going to be, they say late December, January. And then we're going to have the dogfighting alpha. And that's going to allow us to fly ships. Not necessarily our ships, but ships. And they will give us a way to earn some money so we can upgrade our equipment. Go ahead, Laser.
I know that Kalis mentioned before that the buggy's 15,000, and right now I, as a starting player, only have 12,000. So you can go on to the Voyager Direct, which is their sort of in-game version of Amazon, and you can buy like $5, $10, and $20 increments. I'm not sure, but you can.
Which you shouldn't do if you're a smart person.
It's optional. Chris has mentioned people have flipped out about this, but it's optional. But that once the dogfighting module comes out, you will be able to earn in-game cash, like C-bills right now that we have in MechWarrior Online, and there's a bunch of stuff in Voyager Direct you can buy until you're out of your starter cash, but eventually in the dogfighting module, you will be able to gain, by playing, money to get the in-game stuff.
And even if you have like an Aurora MR, which is the very base ship with just, I believe it has 2 lasers on it, it's not very well armed, you're going to be able to earn that money to equip those out.
Kalis.
Yes.
I thought the basic Aurora was the ES, which is essentially...
I don't believe anybody
the MR
has
is
that.
what you buy. Is what you get when you buy it now.
It's not a pledge ship.
I think it's because the base version didn't have guns in it, so it would have fucked over people in the dogfight alpha. Like, hey, I can ram you.
That's okay.
I guess.
You can just go back cap them.
Anyway, the Aurora, if you're just like sick of that ship or you don't think it's going to be very good, they have mentioned they want to do a League of Legends style thing, wherein you can try out ships that you don't necessarily own. For the week, they'll have like a list of ships that you'll be able to play with.
Scythe Week will be fun.
I imagine we're going to be able to fly sides because
It would be mean if they did just at least give people a chance to use it, and to make the Scythe owners real mad, which will be great.
Not only that, for Squadron 42, the Hornet to Scythe interplay has to be nailed down. It has to work. And there's not enough people that own them. I think there's only 300 in the wild. And that's not really that many, if you think about...
301, by the way.
We have something, 35k alpha slots total? Something? No. It's 200 some thousand. So 300 ships out there? No, we'll probably be able to try the size. Now we're going to talk about Kong's tentative plans for space. We have some ideas about what we want to do. Go ahead, Mouse.
For me, Kong should be PMC, which is Private Military Corporation. Within that corporation, I'm intending to do pretty much everything. Be it dogfighting, boarding, salvaging, anything. Anything.
I really do feel like the whole PMC thing is just kind of like a cover word for us doing whatever we want to do. Because nobody nobody can really agree on like a specific like trade we want to do. So it's going to be PMC in like the most loose and broadest of ways.
Well, one of the advantages of the game. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say I can see us. I know one of the hallmarks of Kong's interactions with MechWarrior Online in particular has always been that we're an unorganized group. We don't really have any set rules or regulations or unit structure or anything like that, and that's kind of colored the way people sort of treat us in MechWarrior Online. And it's been something that I've even gone on record as saying, just because one Kong member says something doesn't necessarily mean he speaks for the rest of the group, because we're so loosely affiliated with one another. What I would expect to see in Star Citizen, I don't think we've really discussed this in detail yet, but I can expect us to see one or two, more organized units within Kong. But for people who still just want to drop with us and fly spaceships, I honestly don't think that'll be going away anytime soon. So if you're still kind of on the fence about playing with us, feel free to drop on by, fly with us. It's not going to require that you sign up and go through an application process and all the other bullshit most units will make you do.
Yeah, that's not what Kong's about. It's about a pub group just getting together and having one.
And ruining Star Citizen in general, by the way.
Yeah, that's not us.
Anyway, one thing I want to mention, that's one of the nice things about Star Citizen. It's not just one thing to do. It's not just the dogfighting. It's not going to be about the FPSing for the boarding. It's not going to be about mining. I mean, people have lots of options, and you're going to have a varied amount of people that want to do different things. And maybe not, they don't want to just fight all the time. Maybe some people just want to go explore. But, Jude, you had something to say?
I know the least about Star Citizen of anyone here, and I've known our plans for months now. We are going to find small little groups of people, blow up all of their fuel tankers, and then make them buy fuel from us, and I'll talk like this the whole goddamn time.
Go ahead,
Spacelit propane. Taste the meat, not the heat.
Yeah, speaking of organization, sign-ups for my tryhards are still there. If you want to get together and we can all have cool call signs and fucking talk like
gay sex.
I am only
It'll
capable
be
of trying
fucking
hard.
Rogue Squadron up here. We got an ice cream truck division, Hornet division, 325 division, and we have a fucking cabin boy division now, and Connor's heading that up. Just kind of queer, but whatever.
Okay, Alex.
And our 10 Idris Squadron, obviously. Let's not forget that.
Yeah,
Well, I'm
blow
just
some
glad
shit
that-
up.
we'll see how fucking wise you
glad
are
that-
when people are in your ship and you need help. Please, Connor, they won't stop raping me.
What, you mean when we need a fucking oil massage?
Alright, anyway, Alex, you had something to say?
Well, I'm glad the plans for piracy fell through because, well, I think...
Me too.
He stopped thinking.
I think we lost Alex.
Houston, we have a problem.
Just call Francie next then.
It's not that plans for piracy fell through. I'm sure there's going to be people among Kong that will pirate.
I mean, at some point, people are just going to be like, hey guys, let's be pirates today.
Yeah, you're going to have different people do different things, and that's one of the advantages of the game as far as they describe it. You're going to have the ability to do what you want.
You can do everything.
You just have to deal with the consequences thereof. Francie, you had something
And
to
not expect Kong to come and save your ass if you go pirating and, get your shit kicked in.
I believe you left out the most important division of Kong, the aggressive salvage department, where we salvage your ship when you're still in your ship.
Yeah, I came up with that the other day. I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh god, it's fucking Homeworld all over again.
Salvage
That must be
Corvettes.
horrifying.
Salvage
Like, your ship
Corvettes
is-
everywhere.
Your ship is being torn to shreds, like, while you're still in it. God.
That
It's
is
like
one
being-
thing
it's like
Kong
being
wants
raped
to
in
do.
space.
They
It's
want
We'll
to
have to get
steal
somebody to
ships.
record that bit from the beginning of Jurassic Park where Alan Grant's talking about how when you are alive when they start to eat you. And that'll be y'all's fucking motto.
The thing is, you're
guts.
alive when they are salvaging you.
Alex, you had something to say?
Oh yeah. Yes, I just wanted to say that I'm glad that the plans for piracy fell through because, well, Kong is, to me, Kong
God,
is
it's like
about freedom and piracy. Actually, flying in the face of the law limits your freedom rather than allows it. It's nice to be able to just chill somewhere and mine space fish and not worry about bounty hunters or whatever, or rather space police. PMC sounds nice. It's a nice mix of staying legal and still being a dashing rogue.
I mean, that's implying PMCs are legal, and not do horrible things. But hey,
Remember, freedom means taking away what other people have too.
Horrible things are fine as long as you do it legally.
We'll free the shit out of someone for you, Alex.
Or at least you can prove it.
Alright, moving on. We have the stretch goals. We're just going to talk a little bit about how quickly they were reached. We are currently at 19 million, which is an incredible amount of money for...
I think that's more money than Crisis 1 took to make.
Which is a non-publisher moneyed game. This is completely on the backs of the fans. It's insane. It's historical. It's never been done.
This is going straight to the developers. There's no marketing going into this, really.
They have no marketing budget.
This is word of mouth.
It's all it is. Now, there were a few magazines.
Remember when Doom came out?
Well, that was shareware.
I know.
That's a different marketing approach. But, yeah, they have no actual marketing budget. Now, they do have stuff that they do with events and such, but they don't actually actively make commercials or anything like that. Magazines seek them out, which I think is pretty interesting. Mouse, you had something to say?
Yeah, we're almost more than halfway to 20 million right now, which is the first-person combat on planets.
As of currently, it's $19,608,295 on the backs of their fans. Basically, fans said, we want a space game. That is incredible.
Also, secondly,
I'm very much looking forward.
60 million, thanks for that.
I'm very much looking forward to the $21 million stretch goal, too, for space salvage.
Yeah, that should be good.
Now, for those of you who have been longtime Concast listeners, you are hearing us do something you probably haven't heard of us. Be happy.
Be happy.
Yes.
Be excited and full of joy.
Be excited and hypeful and just enjoying.
And I'm sure a lot of people are going to come and say, well, I'm sure you were excited and hopeful for MechWarrior Online before, the game came out, basically.
Yes, we fucking were.
That's why you should keep following us a year from now when it all
I will say that given Chris Roberts' not only his history as a game developer, but just his very recent history and his dealings with the community, I will personally say that I feel much better about having given money to Chris Roberts than I do having given money to PGI.
Well, here among Kong, we are as gold as it can be as far as Star Citizen goes.
We're fucking blinded.
We have done an informal estimation,
so black,
and
we
have
shades.
over 15K invested ourselves.
Kong has gone full diamond.
We could have actually made our own video game with that much
We
money.
have reached the halls of Castle Malenhold.
Alex, you had something to say?
Well, I feel like the old man here because I have never played a Chris Roberts game before, but it's really impressive how much trust this man gets.
Well, I can tell you a little bit about him. Do we have time,
Still,
Laser?
I think it's better placed than in MechWarrior Online because... So all I wanted to say is I can understand trusting a person's name, better than trusting a game brand, because at the end of the day, a brand just like a skin. It's a skin for the game. So if people don't know how to make a game and they give it a nice skin like MechWarrior or Star Wars or whatever, what have you, well, the game will be bad for anyone not already emotionally invested in the game. But if you can trust a person, you're like, oh, I like this band, they do good stuff. then you can expect good stuff in the future. I am hopeful for Star Citizen because of that.
That's a good point. Bujum, you had something to say?
Right. I just wanted to point out something interesting about how fast the crowdfunding is going, and that there is kind of a wall we're going to hit soon. We've been doing something like $1 million every 7 to 10 days, or maybe 12 days for like $2 or $3 million now. But we're going to start running out of alpha slots. In the past like 30 days, we've hit like 17-something million alpha slots gone.
Yeah, we have less than 20k now, right?
Exactly, right. So in like 30, 40 days, we're probably going to run out of alpha slots, and I don't really know what's going to happen at that point.
They're probably going to add more. It's just there to like give you like a sense of scarcity.
Well, keep in mind, they only said they wanted 24 million for everything to get the game as they said it's going to be. Beyond that, I mean, everything else is just gravy to keep them running.
Champagne money.
Vegas money.
I did want to touch a little bit on the goals. One goal came up, it's a little controversial. They're adding first-person combat on lawless planets. Now, a lot of people don't like that because they think it takes away from the ships, the spaceship part of the game. But we knew first-person combat was going to be a kind of a major part of the game because it's part of the boarding mechanic. It's essential. And death is not something you're supposed to be able to just shake off. It's supposed to affect you quite a bit, actually. Yes. It's a good death mechanic, I think. You can look it up on the Star Citizen, or we can put a link. Actually, Laser, put a link in.
Is that you can actually reverse the effects of dying. You can get implants and all that kind of stuff. So.
Which is pretty cool. Again, a lot of it's speculation, but we can only go by what we know. And the next one is going to be a salvage mechanic. Now, some people were complaining that this isn't already in the game, but it is already in the game. They already said it was in the game. What they're doing with this particular stretch goal is they're adding a lot more depth and a lot more interest to it. They're adding dead alien civilizations. They're adding the ability to meet new alien civilizations. They're adding derelicts and stuff with a lot more detail than they planned on originally. Francie, you had something to say?
It's important to remember about Star Citizen. Chris Roberts is making a game to sell. He's making the game that he always wanted to make, the game he wanted to play. And that's a lot of the reason people are willing to trust him and put their faith in him, because you don't throw your dream away for money. You don't, make a crap game because you can get it out.
Laser?
Just the same.
What I just wanted to say is that I noticed a lot of the hubbub over the salvage mechanic was that people were under the impression that it was like a salvager class, but no, they were just expanding upon it and going to, first contact situations or xenoarchaeology or space derelicts, and I honestly find that kind of interesting since a lot of the people that they polled a long time ago, now I know at the time you could vote multiple times on this poll, is that 70% of the people want to do exploration or something like that. I don't remember the exact number, but they're going to.
It was a good percentage.
It was a large percentage, 68%, I believe.
Yeah, and I started thinking like, man, I can actually find my own star system and keep the coordinates to myself, or keep them inside of Kong, or sell them for money, and just there's all these little ideas of Star Citizen. It's about being a Star Citizen. You play the game. You use not one class. You have all these things you can do, and it's what you want to make the game. There is no top-tier avatar that you eventually reach. It's what you want the game to be.
We really are golding.
Oh, absolutely.
The gold level. It's over 9,000.
We really need a song to play us out.
Well, you have
Can I mention one last thing before we...
I sure don't.
Okay, go ahead, Val.
I was going to say that in the Stompy Robot department, Armored Core Verdict Day comes out this coming Tuesday on the 24th. I know a few of us will be playing. If you're interested in playing, feel free to stop by MechWarrior Online General on our board and just say hi. I think we'll have myself and a few other guys playing the PS3 version. So we'll probably, if it works anything like Armored Core 5 did, we'll need more people to earn more points to actually unlock decent parts. So you're more than welcome to drop in.
Jude, can you finish us out? You got anything for us?
No, I can't sing.
Okay,
none of us can.
Make Connor sing.
None of us can sing.
Send us out, Valk.
This has been Concast. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you all enjoyed this episode, and I have nothing else to say because I was not expecting to be told to close us out. Have a great evening.
We need to think this shit out.
Your money.
Yeah, but that kind of takes away from the
Grab deal.
Platinum golds.
Seriously, it's not even a joke anymore.
No, it's like diamond encrusted neutronium.
That's alright. I'll be here to keep you fuckers level.
Yeah, we didn't have any of the anger and that angst that we normally had, so I had to point that out to people because the whole tone just changed around.
Is this even Comcast?
Sunshine and space rainbows.
Oh man, Alex, you can't even fucking into Sad Panda? That's sad.